Mr. Chair, members of the conference committee, my name is Todd O'Hare. I'm President and CEO of the Montana Chamber of Commerce. The Montana Chamber of Commerce is the state's largest and oldest business advocacy organization. We have over 2,000 members throughout the entire state of Montana, ranging from sole proprietors to publicly traded companies in every business sector in the state of Montana. I don't need to remind you that given the system that we have today with property taxes, absent outside money, we're dealing with a pie. And the only thing that we're discussing here today is how we're going to divvy up the slices in that pie. And the only way that you can provide property tax relief to one class of taxpayers is to raise it on another class of property taxpayers. The businesses that I deal with on a regular basis that have operations in multiple states will tell you that Montana's current property tax system is the most complicated and expensive system in the entire country. It is a disincentive for investing in the state of Montana. Senate Bill 542 is going to create a shift onto some of Montana's largest employers. As an example, the 4 largest non-utility property taxpayers in this state are going to shoulder an increased burden of nearly $9 million. Additionally, some of the folks that are going to see substantial increases in their property taxes are some of those industries that are already under a lot of duress. Think about your coal mines, think about your hard rock mines, think about your refineries that are dealing with tariffs. This bill creates an additional sort of complexity, expense for businesses that are looking at Montana and their investment in this state. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee.
Thank you. Next opponent. Seeing no more informational witnesses, do we have any questions, comments from the committee? Representative Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maybe for Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. O'Hare, I just listened to the testimony of the last 2 opponents. They got up, and I think they pointed out correctly that there's been massive shifts away from corporations and businesses in the last tax period. Then if you actually look at the DOR data under this bill, many of, I would assume they're members of your organization, are still going to be paying less in taxes in 2026 than they would have in 2022. I'll just give you a couple examples. Charter Communications, $8.5 million in 2022 to $7.4 million in 2026. Avista, $6.9 million to $4 million. Montana Refining, $5 million to $4.8 million. Stillwater Mining is about the same. PacifiCorp Electric Generation, $2.6 million to $2.39 million. Why is it that we shouldn't pass a bill when we've got all of these businesses that are still paying less in taxes in 2026 than they would have in 2022?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Fitzpatrick, I've got a couple of responses to that. One being is that the valuation of these businesses went down during this assessment. If housing values had gone down, we wouldn't be expecting housing to pay more if their valuations went down. Housing prices went up. Property values went up, as did their property taxes. Businesses' valuations during that period of time went down. Secondly, I would suggest that you're assuming that the business community has thought that our business property taxes, commercial property taxes, have been low in the past. And it is the one complaint that we hear consistently from the business community, not just in 2024, not in just 2025. It has been a consistent message that we hear from the business community. Property taxes in Montana are too high and they're too complicated. And that predates this legislative session. And so when we think about looking back in our rearview mirror to assume that we're giving a tax cut in a system where businesses are already saying that property taxes are too high and it is a disincentive not only to invest in the state but to remain in the state, I think is a false premise, Mr. Chairman, Representative Fitzpatrick.
Follow-up.
Follow up?
So, Mr. Chairman, or Mr. O'Hare, you've just said here that property taxes are going to be a disincentive, but you're still getting, some of your members are still getting property tax decreases. Are you telling me that by passing this bill, we're going to now disincentivize investment in the state of Montana, that nobody's going to want to come in when a company like Charter is going down 1.1 million, Avista's going down close to $3 million bucks?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Fitzpatrick, I don't want to paint that broad of a stroke, but I think it is something that we need to take into consideration. When you look at the entire economy of the state of Montana and where Montana sits in a region, as far as what our tax structure is, as far as what our regulatory structure is, there are businesses that are going to choose not to invest in the state of Montana based upon a tax structure, a regulatory structure. This does not assist that. I recognize the challenge that this committee has before it, and this entire legislative body has had before it, when we're looking at how do we divvy up the pie. We're not going to add additional revenue into this pie. We're not going to make the pie bigger. We're going to deal with the pie that we have. And you're doing the only thing that you can do. I cannot support, on behalf of the businesses that we represent, them paying additional taxes.
Mr. Chairman, one more for Mr. O'Hare, and then I'll go on.
Follow up?
So, Mr. Chairman, Mr. O'Hare, under this bill, there will be substantial tax cuts for your small business members. Do you oppose this bill, even though there you have a wide variety of businesses in the state of Montana that will get a pretty significant tax cut? I mean, for the commercials, we're basically under $2 million. You're going to get a lower tax rate. Is that bad for Montana small businesses to get a property tax cut if you're a small business guy?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Fitzpatrick, I'll have two responses to that as well. One is, I think our concern is that the actual property tax relief felt by small businesses is not going to be as substantial as some of the assumptions are. The second is the business community, we're not in the business of throwing each other underneath the bus. The business community wants to see the economy as a whole grow. So we will support each other and be unified in an approach to tackling property taxes.